The series starts with a woman strolling into a restaurant, ordering food, and snapping a photo as she narrates her life as a social media influencer. With just one picture, she claims she can propel any business to new heights. And she does just that as gradually, more people patronize the restaurant after seeing her post about the place. This woman is Seo Ari, and she explains how her curiosity led her to become one of South Korea's most successful influencers, amassing 1.3 million followers. She is now living a great life with money seemingly pouring into her bank account. At least, that's how it looks from the outside. But according to Seo Ari, her life was once a complete mess before she got a taste of the good life. She walks into a dark room, saying she will be revealing the cheat code of how she turned her life around. She sits in front of her phone already set for the Instagram Live, and several people start watching her. In a flashback, we see Seo Ari start as someone with almost no social media presence. She works hard as a door-to-door salesperson for an obscure beauty brand, and doesn't bother keeping up with the latest influencer feuds. Her friend Yoon Jong-soon, however, is obsessed with social media drama and constantly fills her in. At the moment, the hottest online clash is between influencers Binimom and Wang Rola. Rumor has it they were once friends, but everything changes when Min-hae surpasses Binimom in followers and starts looking down on her. The feud spirals out of control, affecting the Gabin Society, an exclusive influencer group that includes Yoon Si-hyun, Oh Min-hee, Jin Chae-hee, Angela, Gina, Han Yu-rang, Binimom, and Wang Rola. With their names dragged into the chaos, they scramble to find a solution, secretly meeting, without Binimom. But their plan backfires as Binimom arrives, asks why they are all there when they had previously decided to have the meeting at a Chinese restaurant. Meanwhile, Seo Ari, completely unaware of this drama, visits Yoon Si-hyun's house to sell beauty products to the house manager and some of her friends. Here, we learn that Seo Ari comes from a wealthy family that went bankrupt, forcing her to take on part-time jobs to survive. Her visit takes an unexpected turn when Yoon Si-hyun returns home earlier than expected, forcing Seo Ari to hide in a walk-in closet. As she waits, she overhears a conversation between Si-hyun and her husband, Jin Tae-jeon, who happens to be Chae-hee's brother. Tae-jeon is frustrated with the ongoing online feud, as Chae-hee pressures him to sue Binimom for defamation, but Si-hyun dismisses the idea. As Si-hyun leaves the room, Seo Ari walks around as she is stunned by the luxurious wardrobe before her, until the maid arrives and helps her sneak out of the house. After sneaking out, Seo Ari returns home, where her mother, Lee Hyun-ok, greets her. Hyun-ok still clings to her past wealth, running a clothing alteration business but indulging in wearing her clients' high-end outfits. And Seo Ari constantly reminds her of their new reality. Later that night, Seo Ari, intrigued by Si-hyun's conversation, installs Instagram for the first time. Looking back, she wonders if that single decision seals her fate. The next day, Seo Ari's boss asks her to buy a gift for his wife, and she brings Jong-soon along. During their outing, she unexpectedly reunites with Oh Min-hae, who turns out to be an old high school friend. Min-hee and Yu-rang are out shopping, blowing off steam from the ongoing social media war. Furious over Binimom's alleged betrayal, Min-hae is determined to make her pay, even though Binimom once helped her build her brand. Meanwhile, Seo Ari is surprised to see Min-hae living like a celebrity, casually dropping 30 million won on a shopping spree. And back in high school, Min-hae came from a poor background, and Seo Ari used to lend her luxury items she no longer needed. Unaware of Seo Ari's family's financial downfall, Min-hae assumes she still lives lavishly. She brags to Yu-rang about knowing Seo Ari. When Min-hae asks for her social media handles, Seo Ari admits she isn't on social media, shocking Min-hae. Still, Jung-sun quickly steps in, offering her own social media instead and promising to relay messages. That night, Min-hae tells her devoted husband, Kwon Myung-ho, about her encounter with Seo Ari, and she decides to invite Seo Ari to an upcoming party, replacing Binimom as her guest. Since Binimom betrayed her first, Min-hae feels justified in doing the same. Besides, she believes Seo Ari, with her presumed wealth and Ivy League education, will make a great impression. Jong-sun urges Seo Ari to attend the party, and even her mother suggests borrowing one of her client's designer dresses. Seo Ari hesitates at first, but her curiosity about Min-hae's sudden success gets the better of her. She finally creates an Instagram profile and searches Min-hae's profile. It is safe to say she is stunned by what she sees. Meanwhile, Chae-hee continues pressuring her brother, Tae-jeon, to take legal action against Binimom, but Taejon, uninterested in the drama, assures her he will handle it. Sihyun visits, concerned about Chaehee's obsession, but Taejon brushes off her worries. While there, she spots Han Junkyung, but stops Chaehee from approaching him. Chaehee casually mentions that Junkyung will be at the party, which catches Sihyun off guard. Eventually, she agrees as there should be no harm in seeing how the other half lives. That evening, Seo Ari gets ready, slipping into an elegant designer dress borrowed from her mother's shop. Arriving at the party, Seo Ari crosses paths with Jun Kyung, who mistakes her for someone else, but she assumes he's a creep and threatens to report him. And instead of backing down, he hands her his phone number, intrigued by her boldness. This catches Seo Ari off guard, and she decides not to report him. Inside, Minhai welcomes her warmly, showing her off to the Gabin Society, and the ladies are instantly impressed by Seo Ari's supposed Ivy League background, with Minhai also embellishing the truth, insisting they were close because both their families were rich. Before Seo Ari can correct her, Sae-hyun and Chae-hee arrive. Chae-hee immediately notices the dress, and knowing Sae-hyun is the only person in Korea who owns it, she questions if it belongs to Si-hyun. The room falls silent as everyone demands an explanation, and Seo Ari is flustered as she struggles to respond, but Si-hyun intervenes, saving her from embarrassment. Min-hee continues her exaggerated praise, but Seo Ari finally snaps, and she reveals the truth about dropping out after her family's bankruptcy. Just then, the party takes a dramatic turn when Binimom crashes the event. Enraged over being banned, she storms in and slaps Minhai, publicly exposing her for using her, and then discarding her when things got tough. The guests watch, equal parts horrified and entertained. But unexpectedly, Seo Ari steps in to help Minhai. Back to the present, members of the Gabin Society are in a frenzy as Seo Ari, who they all believe to be dead, is hosting a live video, exposing their secrets, and they frantically call each other, terrified. Meanwhile, Seo Ari stares into the camera and asks, "Are you scared yet?" She singles out one user, in particular, BB Be Famous. The mystery deepens. Who is she? And who tried to kill her? Seo Ari doesn't reveal the answer, but she leaves a hint that it is someone who fears she's still alive. In another masterclass from Seo Ari on the inner workings of social media, she breaks down how influencers channel their hunger for attention into fame, securing money, power, and influence along the way. That's just how the game works, making people envy the luxurious lifestyle influencers flaunt. And she asks that if you had the chance to be the hottest influencer, would you take it or let it slip? As Seo Ari continues her live, she reveals the choice she made. Meanwhile, the Gabin Society scrambles to figure out how Seo Ari has seemingly risen from the dead. They wonder if she pre-recorded these videos, or if she is alive and is about to take them all down. Si-hyun is convinced she's alive, pointing out how she's responding to viewers in real time, but the rest only wish she had stayed dead. Seo Ari, on the other hand, is basking in the moment, interacting with her audience, and finally breaking her silence. She says she can only imagine the chaos her expose is causing among her enemies, and she's ready to spill even more secrets. A flashback takes us to the night of the fight between Binimom and Minhai. Seo Ari had stepped in, only to become Binimom's next target, getting red wine poured all over her dress. In retaliation, Seo Ari didn't just slap Binimom, she doused her in a drink and verbally tore her apart. This boldness catches Jun Kyung's attention, and he's not the only one intrigued. Ju Sung-hyuk from Apex Communication notices her potential and takes the opportunity to introduce himself. Meanwhile, Si-hyun returns home and questions her maid about the store handling the alterations on her dress. At the same time, Seo Ari and her mom stress over cleaning the expensive dress. It's not like they have 12 million won just lying around. The next morning, Jun Kyung is making money moves while fitting in a workout. Taejon drops by, finding him at an indoor climbing gym, and invites him to check out Myung-ho's car dealership. When they arrive, Myung-ho is trying to calm a panicked Minhai, who's still reeling from the party fiasco with Binimom. As Taejon and Jun Kyung chat, it's revealed that Jun Kyung and Si-hyun go way back to college. However, there's an unspoken history between them, and Jun Kyung casually mentions he didn't see Si-hyun at the party since he had to leave early. Elsewhere, Chae-hee, Angela, and Gina ice out Minhai after her fight with Binimom. But Minhai refuses to back down and resorts to desperate measures to maintain her brand and social status. On the other side of town, Jong-soon understands Seo Ari's frustration over the ruined dress, but still urges her to post pictures from the party, figuring it could boost her Instagram following. Seo Ari is surprised to see her follower count rising, especially after Min Hai follows her back, but while she's still processing that, she gets a call from Seung Hyuk and is shocked he even has her number. Seung Hyuk isn't the only one trying to reach her. Jun Kyung also slides into her DMs, but she ignores him, which only fuels his curiosity. When Seo Ari finally meets Seung Hyuk, she finds him strange and wonders why someone like him would be interested in her. She tells him she only agreed to meet to size him up. However, Seung Hyuk has already done his homework on her, which irritates her. He explains and insists she has potential and offers to make her a social media star, even dropping Min Hai's name as bait. After the meeting, Seo Ari returns home and finds Sahyun at the shop to pick up her dress. Seo Ari starts apologizing, but Sihyun only says she had her doubts. But now she is sure Seo Ari was the one wearing her dress. Seo Ari and her mom apologize profusely, and Seo Ari offers to pay for the damages, but Sihyun declines, saying she was planning to throw the dress out anyway. She handles the situation with grace, simply accepting Seo Ari's apology and leaving. But deep down, Sihyun is affected, as the dress holds sentimental value, and it was a gift she cherished and couldn't part with even after marriage. Returning home, she gets a notification that Min Hai has publicly invited them to a live stream the next day, a clear attempt to keep the Gabon ladies tied to her. As expected, Chae-hee is ready to cut Min Hai loose, making it clear during their impromptu meeting to her that Min Hai should stay in her lane. But Sihyun pushes back, arguing that supporting Min Hai will be better for their image. Though reluctant, Chae-hee realizes she has a point but still feels undermined. Meanwhile, ahead of her livestream, Min Hai meets Seo Ari for drinks. She's still shocked by how Seo Ari's life turned out, and when Seo Ari mentions she sells beauty products door to door, Min Hai drags her to her showroom, flaunting her success. Soon, the other ladies arrive. Led by Si-hyun, Min-hee puts on an Oscar-worthy act, pretending everything is fine and playing the role of a supportive friend. She even takes the chance to introduce Seo Ari to her followers. Hyping up her beauty products, she paints them as recently reunited besties, claiming they always have each other's backs. Once the live ends, the ladies, except for Si-hyun, mock Min Hai's latest stunt. They suspect she's using Seo Ari to distract her followers from the Bini Mom drama. Seo Ari is equally unimpressed and accuses Min Hai of using her to fix her online image, but Min Hai fires back, insisting Seo Ari is just jealous. In truth, she only liked Seo Ari back in the day because of her wealth. Now that their roles have reversed, she sees no problem in exploiting her, and in her mind, Seo Ari should be grateful for the attention. Seo Ari leaves, shaken and hurt, especially since Si-hyun overheard their confrontation. She replays everything people have said to her, particularly Seung Hyuk's words. The scene cuts to Seo Ari's ongoing livestream, where she exposes the industry's obsession with followers, both real and fake, and as it turns out, Seung Hyuk has been boosting Min Hai's numbers with fake followers, a service she paid for after losing engagement due to her feud with Bini Mom. In the end, Seo Ari highlights that gaining followers isn't enough. It's about getting celebrities to follow you back. For her, luck played a part, and a golden opportunity landed in her lap. Back in the past, Seo Ari received a call summoning her to the police station. There, she found Jun Kyung waiting, and she had no idea what was going on. The police received several calls about Seo Ari's shocking livestream. Detective Jang Hyun-soo is stunned to hear that she might still be alive, and quickly asks his colleagues if they're certain it's really her. Flashing back, we see the night Seo Ari was called to the police station, as Jun Kyung, desperate for her attention after she ignored him, goes to extreme lengths, turning himself in as the suspect in a sexual harassment case that she never even reported. Seo Ari sees it as an intimidation tactic, a way to flaunt his influence, and furiously lashes out at him. To make a point, she decides to report him for harassment. That night, everything seemed to be spiraling downhill for her, until she got a call from Jong-soon, who informed her that Min Hae's little marketing stunt had unexpectedly caused their beauty products to sell like crazy. At that moment, Seo Ari realized the true power of social media. The next morning, she's overwhelmed as more sales roll in, and her boss questions why she never mentioned Min Hae before. Meanwhile, Jong-soon takes matters into her own hands, curating Seo Ari's Instagram to make it look like she stayed at a luxury hotel. The account starts blowing up, and soon, brands and agencies flood her inbox with offers. Feeling out of her depth, Seo A-ri turns to Sung-hyuk for guidance. Elsewhere, Si-hyun visits Jun-kyung's mother, hoping for her support in a charity event. The woman readily agrees, but can't hide her disappointment that Jun-kyung never married Si-hyun. She always thought they were just friends and was upset when Si-hyun ended up with Taejeon. But despite this, she still wants Jun-kyung's company to be involved in the charity. After meeting with Seung-hyuk, Seo A-ri starts seeing the limitless opportunities of the influencer world, as he gives her a taste of the lifestyle, introducing her to makeovers, sponsorships, and the secret to success, which is hitting 10,000 followers. Once she does, brands will be lining up for her. This makes her intrigued, and Seo A-ri decides to give it a shot. Meanwhile, Jun-kyung, Taejeon, and Myung-ho meet at Aragon Club, where Myung-ho has struck a shady deal with Young-tae to scam more people through a luxury car dealership. Jun-kyung briefly mentions his run-in with Seo A-ri at the police station, and Taejeon warns him to be careful, even offering to call the Commissioner General on his behalf. When Myung-ho suggests bringing in girls for the night, Jun-kyung, clearly annoyed, leaves immediately. The next day, Seung-hyuk arranges a meeting with Min-hye and Seo A-ri, proposing that she support Seo A-ri's rise, and his pitch is that Min-hye could repair her image by acting like Seo A-ri is her new best friend to replace Binnie Mom. Min-hye is reluctant but knows she needs to stay relevant. Seo A-ri also reminds her that it is just business, and she begrudgingly invites Seo A-ri to an event. Seo A-ri arrives at Min-hye's event, feeling out of place. The Gabon Society notices her and starts making fun of her. Soon, Seo A-ri gains the attention of the people patronizing Min-hye, but the Gabon Society is not happy. Yu-rang, in particular, feels threatened, fearing that Seo A-ri will take her place as Min-hye's best friend. Min-hye, on the other hand, starts worrying that Seo A-ri might become the new it girl, and she tries to belittle Seo A-ri in private, saying she should go to the garage to help sort out her inventory. Later, Seo A-ri posts photos from the event, tagging the local stores where she got her outfit, which sparked curiosity among her growing followers. Time passes, and Si-hyun's charity event finally arrives. The plan is for guests to bring luxury items to auction for a good cause, which leads Seo A-ri and Jong-soon to excitedly show up with a suitcase full of items, only to realize Min-hye tricked them by giving them the wrong time. Si-hyun graciously welcomes them, but as they drag in their suitcase, the reality sets in as every other donation is from high-end fashion brands. Embarrassed, Seo A-ri quickly decides to leave instead of unloading their items, and the Gabon Society women openly mock them, making the situation even worse. Meanwhile, Jun-kyung is late to the event, having stopped by the police station for cross-examination, and the detective informs him that Seo A-ri already gave her statement and didn't want to see him. Disappointed, he heads to the charity event, just in time to witness Seo A-ri tripping over her suitcase in her rush to leave, and without hesitation, he steps in to help, leaving the entire room stunned. It turns out that he had been following her social media and knew she'd be there. After the event, Chae-hee bombards Jun-kyung with questions about how he knows Seo A-ri, but he refuses to answer. Si-hyun joins them for drinks, while elsewhere, Jong-sun is just as curious, pressing Seo A-ri for answers. Seo A-ri, however, is just as confused as she wonders why a chaebol like Jun-kyung is interested in her. To make things even stranger, he offers them his car and driver to take them home. When Seo A-ri finally checks her phone, she is shocked as her follower count has skyrocketed. Back in the present, Min-hye is reeling from Seo A-ri's livestream, telling Yu-rang that even in death, Seo A-ri is still messing with her. Yu-rang questions if she's certain Seo A-ri is really dead, but before Min-hye can answer, Detective Jang Hyun-soo arrives. When he questions her about Seo A-ri, Min-hye doesn't hold back, calling her jealous and insisting that everything Seo A-ri says in the livestream is a lie. Meanwhile, Chae-hee and the other women panic upon learning that Si-hyun called the police, but Si-hyun stands her ground, saying if Seo A-ri is truly back, there are going to be questions. Chae-hee, frustrated, asks how Si-hyun can take Seo A-ri's side after everything. Seo A-ri is seen questioning herself in the livestream if she was really the villain everyone painted her to be. She brings up an old post that once sent social media into a frenzy, one where she called out the fakeness and attention-seeking nature of influencers. That single post had triggered a firestorm of online drama, shaking the influencer world to its core. We see the Gabon Society ladies doing what they do best, which is flaunting their picture-perfect lives. Their social media feeds paint a dreamy existence filled with luxury cars, designer shoes, and enviable careers. However, in her live stream, Seo A-ri wonders if people ever get tired of influencers constantly showing off. We then circle back to her infamous post, the one that supposedly called out the Gabon Society, and Chae-hee, furious, demands that Min-hae handle the situation since she was the one who brought Seo A-ri into their circle. Meanwhile, Seo A-ri is gambling her future on her 9,124 Instagram followers, and that post changes everything. Soon after, she gets a DM from Bibaba Famous, who wants to connect. Back in the present, Detective Jang Hyun-soo meets Si-hyun and is surprised by how unbothered she seems. He explains that he has met Seo A-ri's other acquaintances, and they all seem to hold grudges against her, but Si-hyun claims to have no issues with Seo A-ri. A flashback takes us to the aftermath of Si-hyun's charity event. While talking to her husband, she gets a call from Chi-hee, who's freaking out over Seo A-ri's post, and the only one entertained by A-ri's boldness is Jun-kyung. Even A-ri's mom is worried about her stirring the pot. Meanwhile, the Gabon Society is taking hits online, with people mocking them. They complain to themselves that they had planned live streams, but now they fear their audience will only care about their response to A-ri's alleged attack. Ultimately, they go ahead with their streams, twisting the narrative to make A-ri look like a jealous outsider. Min-hae takes it further, confronting A-ri at Sung-hyok's office in a dramatic showdown. But A-ri is unfazed and simply tells her to calm down and ends their fake friendship act. Sung-hyok also points out that Seo A-ri's follower count starts dropping, and Sung-hyok warns her that she might have pushed her luck too far as Min-hae's followers are about to go after her. Seo A-ri goes through a hate account targeting her. She realizes the storm ahead and reaches out to Beb Famous. Meanwhile, Taejun learns about the scandal when Ma Young-ho mentions needing to post in support of his wife, and since Si-hyun doesn't have an Instagram account, she borrows her maid's phone to keep up with the drama. On the other hand, Hyun Ok and Jong-soon step in to defend A-ri online using several accounts, but Seo A-ri tells them it is no use. She becomes desperate, and she reaches out to BB Famous again, hoping for a way to turn the tide. Min-hae, meanwhile, is spiraling as she is convinced the Gabon Society is shutting her out. Her husband tries to comfort her, but she just belittles him. However, the situation shifts drastically when powerful online communities rally behind A-ri, thanks to BBB Famous backing her. Just like that, public opinion flips, and A-ri's follower count skyrockets. But the biggest moment is when Jun-kyung follows her account, and given that he follows no one else, this holds weight in their world. Si-hyun later confronts Chae-hee, telling her to stop obsessing over A-ri's opinions, but Chae-hee lashes out, questioning how Si-hyun can support A-ri. While this is going on, Chae-hee realizes that Jun-kyung is following only Seo A-ri, and she becomes livid, and she asks Si-hyun if Jun-kyung is doing it again with A-ri, just like he supposedly did with Si-hyun, and if that is why he is so focused on her. Elsewhere, A-ri meets Jun-kyung to settle things. She tells him she's dropping her complaint and isn't looking for a fight as she knows she will lose if she picks a fight with someone like him. Jun-kyung, curious, asks why she started this whole online war in the first place. He admits he followed her because she intrigued him. He then says he has a reputation for dating below his social class, earning him the nickname Princess Maker. But A-ri isn't impressed as she sees him as just another arrogant, spoiled chaebol, and he proposes that they meet up a few more times as he is interested in her, which leaves her stunned. The story then jumps back to A-ri's rise as an influencer. Through a series of sponsorships, we watch her climb to stardom, and rumors swirl about her connection with Jun-kyung, but we still don't know how she responded to his proposal. A flashback reveals that Jun-kyung's company personally invited her to one of their events, orchestrated by Sung-hyok. Si-hyun was there too, with Taejun asking her to pass a message to Jun-kyung, as Taejun seems worried that Jun-kyung is getting too fixated on A-ri. Min-hye, also at the event, completely loses it when she finds out A-ri was paid to attend, while she, despite having a bigger platform, wasn't. Furious, she accuses A-ri of seducing Jun-kyung, and she's not the only one. Many in the Gabon Society suspect the same. At the party, A-ri crosses paths with Song Yeon-woo, an actress and Chae-hee's friend. She introduces herself to Seo A-ri and expresses how glad she is to finally meet her. Si-hyun and Jun-kyung watch from a distance, and Si-hyun says Yeon-woo is probably being nice to Seo A-ri to help renew her contract with Jun-kyung's company due to their dating rumors. She then calls out Jun Kyung's behavior, warning him to stop playing games with Airi, as she's worried that Airi will end up hurt. But Jun Kyung points out that the same does not apply to Si-hyun, as she turned out fine, and he was the one who got hurt instead. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo takes some photos with Seo-ri, which makes Chae-hee feel annoyed, and she picks a fight with Yeonwoo. She pours a drink on her dress and accuses her of using Airi to renew her contract with Jun Kyung's entertainment company. While Chae-hee's accusation is spot on, it's clear she's acting out of jealousy. As Chae-hee and Yeonwoo's fight escalates, Airi steps in, questioning why Chae-hee acts so superior when all she does is live off her family's wealth. Si-hyun quickly diffuses the situation, warning Chae-hee that people are watching her too, and she helps Yeonwoo get changed. Before leaving, Airi thanks Si-hyun for her support. Si-hyun suggests they become friends and follow Airi on social media, finally opening her own account. Back in the present, Airi continues her live stream while Si-hyun speaks with the detective. She says she wanted to help Airi until Airi did something wrong, and during the stream, Ari reflects on how misunderstandings kept piling up. Meanwhile, the Gabon Society members go live too, accusing her of lying. Chae-hee takes it a step further, dramatically claiming that Airi killed a man who did nothing but support her. Back to the event night, we see Jun Kyung, Si-hyun, and Airi deciding to be friends the night of the event. But the lingering question remains, did Airi kill Jun Kyung? Then, in a shocking twist, Airi admits on her live stream that she is, in fact, responsible for someone's death. So Airi goes live once again, pouring herself a drink. She explains that influencers drink while streaming as a tactic to show that they are also normal like everyone else. She then says she is ready to expose even more secrets, but before diving into the next chapter, she decides she needs a drink. Meanwhile, the women of the Gabon Society are in a frenzy, anxiously wondering what bombshell So-airi will drop next. They struggle to come up with a counterattack, and Min-hai points out that Chae-hee's attempt to discredit So-airi through her own live streams has backfired. Frustrated, Chae-hee loses her temper and calls Young-tae, demanding he prepare a room for her at Aragon Club. Young-tae hesitates, knowing this isn't the best time to get drunk, but Chae-hee yells at him as she couldn't care less. Through a flashback, we see So-airi starting fresh. Her younger brother, Do-seong, is also back from military service, and he is surprised to see the sponsored gifts his sister is getting. Life seemed to be taking a positive turn, and Hyun-ok couldn't hide her pride as So-airi raked in sponsorship deals and built her success. So-airi brings Jong-sun along to her lunch meeting with Jun Kyung, unaware that he had expected a private gathering. Irritated, Jun Kyung insists that Jong-sun stay behind while he takes So-airi somewhere else. She pushes back, saying he's out of line, but Jun Kyung reminds her of the conditions they agreed upon, making it clear that she has a commitment to uphold. Their exchange raises more questions, making us wonder if they are in some sort of contract relationship. The argument drags on, and ultimately, they end up at Jun Kyung's house for lunch, leaving Jong-sun behind. At his house, So-airi is taken aback when she sees an assistant helping Jun Kyung take off his shoes. Unmoved by the luxury surrounding her, she refuses to eat and bluntly tells him she has no interest in him, nor in the lifestyle he leads. Jun Kyung remains unfazed, calmly explaining that he can't change the rules of his world, and if he did, the woman assisting him would lose her job. So Airi admits that he makes a valid point, but she isn't buying it. She then rejects his offer outright and leaves, reminding him that he should have gotten the message when she brought Jong-sun along. On her way home, So-airi gets a call from Angela, who wants to meet. They sit down, and Angela, in her usual fashion, tries to play the role of a concerned friend, offering to mediate between So-airi and Chae-hee. She sprinkles in compliments and a touch of wisdom, claiming she's just trying to be a good Christian. So-airi is skeptical but diplomatic, and she plays along, agreeing that it wouldn't hurt to smooth things over. Elsewhere, Min-hai fumes when she notices that Si-hyun has followed So-airi on Instagram, a subtle but clear sign of where her allegiance might be shifting. Later that night, So-airi does some digging on Angela, and what she finds is scandalous. Online rumors claim that Angela used to be a call girl, with her now husband being one of her former clients. Whispers suggest that she still meets clients in secret, but Angela isn't the only one with skeletons, as Gina is accused of selling counterfeit luxury goods, and Ma Young-ho is running scams. All of this intel comes from So-airi's newfound online ally, BBB Famous, who has been feeding her inside information. Curious about BBB Famous' identity, So Airi presses for answers, but the mysterious informant refuses to reveal herself. Instead, she expresses her support, insisting that So Airi deserves success. The two bond over their shared disdain for the Gabon society, with BBB Famous pointing out how these women gained their status through shortcuts, privilege, money, or outright cheating. Determined to carve her own path, So Airi launches an online thrift shop. She and Jong-sun scout for stylish pieces in local markets, while Do-seong helps with photography and IT. Though the Gabon society looks down on her for selling Dongdaemun wholesale clothes, her followers love her authenticity. Meanwhile, Chae-hee is still set on partying, making arrangements with Young-tae for her visit to the club. The next day, she arrives, expecting special treatment, while Young-tae, ever the two-faced enabler, praises her to her face and insults her behind her back. She's caught off guard when Angela shows up, dragging So Airi and Gina along. Feeling undermined, Chae-hee lashes out, throwing another tantrum, while So Airi, confused, wonders why she was even invited. Just as she's about to leave, Angela stops her, claiming she has a great idea, and soon some men enter the room. As chaos unfolds at the club, Jun-kyung meets Si-hyun at a restaurant. She's wary, knowing it's a bad idea, but curiosity gets the better of her. It turns out Jun-kyung wants her help in winning over. So Ari, as her rejection, has only fueled his interest. Their conversation shifts to their past, and Jun-kyung finally asks why she left him without an explanation. But before she is able to answer, Taejon arrives, catching them together. Back at the club, things spiral as the party gets wild as drugs, laughter, and reckless behavior take over. Angela takes So Airi back to the room where Chae-hee is completely wasted and slurs nonsense while snapping pictures, unaware of the consequences. Though visibly displeased, Taejon masks his irritation, and Jun-kyung quickly diffuses the situation, pretending it was all business. During their dinner, Si-hyun notices a post from Chae-hee, as she has uploaded a picture while high. Alarmed, she and Jun-kyung rush to the club, knowing the damage this could cause. Back at the club, So Airi is taken aback as she hadn't realized drugs were involved. She becomes furious, and she confronts Angela, who dismisses her concerns, saying that in their world, rules don't apply. When they arrive, Si-hyun scrambles to get Chae-hee to delete the photo, while So Airi, exhausted, decides to leave. At the door, she runs into Jun-kyung, who looks disappointed, and he tells her that, just like she rejected him, he too must reject her now. As he walks away, she stops him, but before they can talk, a scream pierces through the air. They rush back inside and find a man from the party collapsed, and he is not breathing. Panic sets in as everyone scrambles to revive him. Jun-kyung jumps in to help, while So Airi instinctively reaches for her phone to call the police. Si-hyun and Taejon immediately block her, and he accuses her of trying to destroy them all. Taejon, ever the manipulator, takes control, arranging for the man to be discreetly transported to a hospital. So Airi, still insisting they do the right thing, is met with resistance. Young-tae warns her that if she involves the police, she'll go down with the rest of them. And just like that, reality hits her. These people live by their own set of rules, untouchable and unbothered. As the night spirals further into damage control, they carry the unconscious man out the back door, making sure no one sees. On the fourth day of So Ari's livestream, Detective Jang Hyun-soo pushes to investigate the drug case So Ari mentioned in her livestream, but his boss, Kim Tae-young, shuts him down immediately as he is deep in Taejon's pocket. Without proof or any way to override his superior, Hyun-soo is forced to drop it, at least for now. A flashback takes us back to that chaotic night. So Airi watches as the group rushes the unconscious man into a waiting ambulance, still adamant about calling the police, but Si-hyun begs her to trust her instead. Si-hyun then takes Chae-hee home, while her husband discreetly transfers the man to a secret hospital. Later, he reassures Si-hyun that the man only suffered temporary shock and will recover, though he's far more concerned about So Airi as she isn't one of them, and doesn't grasp how delicate the situation is. In reality, So Airi does attempt to call the police but hesitates, realizing that her page is gaining traction, and the stakes are suddenly much higher. Meanwhile, Min-hee, plotting So Ari's downfall, reassures her husband that she has a plan. She's also suspicious about why Chae-hee deleted her photo from that night, as something seems off. So Ari is in the picture, and she asks her husband to find out what really happened. The next day, Taejon and Jun-kyung barge into Si-hyun's meeting with So Airi. Si-hyun only wants to apologize, but Taejon has other plans, and he arrogantly demands that So-ari sign an NDA, threatening her if she refuses. She stands her ground, refusing to sign, and Jun-kyung unexpectedly backs her up. They walk out together, but So-ari, tired of his interference, tells Jun-kyung she's sick of him and wants nothing to do with him. Unfazed, Jun-kyung follows her outside, urging her to let him protect her. He warns that Taejon and the Gabin Society will come after her, knowing she refuses to play by their rules. He says he understands that carving her own path will make her a target, but he's willing to stand by her. Meanwhile, Si-hyun, fed up with her husband's arrogance, takes So-ari's side as well. On her way out, she spots Jun-kyung and So-ari standing close together, a flicker of hurt crossing her face. Taejon notices too, and he can tell that Si-hyun is bothered by Jun-kyung's growing interest in So-ari. A few days later, Jun-kyung pays Taejon a visit, making it clear that he should stay away from So-ari. He says he knows the man from the party is in a coma, hidden away in Kim Min-chan's plastic surgery clinic, and he warns Taejon to clean up his mess without dragging So-ari into it. Meanwhile, Min-chan scrambles to keep his wife, Yu-rang, from finding out by banning her from the clinic, though his odd behavior only makes her more suspicious. As time passes, So-ari's online thrift shop takes off, her page skyrocketing in popularity, sales pour in, and she, along with her team, works tirelessly to keep up. Sung Hyuk, impressed by her success, calls for a meeting. When she tells him she plans to launch her own brand in addition to the thrift shop, he worries she's taking on too much. But So-ari insists as she is determined to carve her own path, promising him she'll succeed. He supports her, but warns her to tread carefully. But while So-ari's star rises, Chae-hee seethes, desperate to see her fall. She fears the truth about the party will surface, and Min-hae, ever the schemer, offers to handle it as she is also determined to take So-ari down. Soon after, So-ari and Jong-soon arrive at Dongdaemun Market, only to find that their vendors refuse to fulfill their orders. Confused and frustrated, they soon realize it's part of Min-hae's plan, as she had enlisted her old friend, Hwang Yuri, who runs Besta Room, to label So-ari's stock as exclusive, blocking her from selling to customers. With orders stuck, refund demands flood in, and customers start lashing out online. This makes So-ari furious, and she turns to BBB Famous for help. Outside the market, Park Yong-bae overhears the commotion and is stunned when he realizes the victim is So-ari. It seems he knows her and genuinely cares. Armed with BBB Famous intel, So-ari storms into Besta Room, ready to confront Hwang Yuri. A tense standoff ensues, and Yuri, pressured, admits that Min-hae gave her the idea. They settle the dispute with a card game, which So-ari wins effortlessly. With a knowing smirk, she reveals that she wagered the exact amounts Yuri charges men for illicit services. Yuri, shaken by the revelation, realizes So-ari isn't someone to underestimate. Yuri is taken aback by So-ari's boldness, and she tries to argue that she did not do that, but So-ari says she just does not want to accept the truth. So-ari knows she acted recklessly, but she did what had to be done. As she leaves, she unexpectedly runs into Park Yong-bae, who used to work for her father and now runs a small textile factory. He offers his help, and without hesitation, they accept. Determined to bounce back, So-ari reaches out to her former boss, only to learn that the company shut down due to a tax evasion report. She feels responsible and apologizes, offering to help sell the remaining products. She realizes that she's already hit rock bottom as there's nothing left to lose, so she takes the risk. And that gamble pays off, something Min-hae never saw coming. Thinking she had crushed So-ari, Min-hae is blindsided when she rises from the ashes, stronger than ever. While So-ari takes a step back from social media to regroup, the Gabin Society ladies pop the champagne, thinking they've won. Meanwhile, Yu-rang grows increasingly suspicious of her husband. Confiding in Min-hae, she accidentally mentions that Taejon recently called him, and since then, he's been acting strangely. The only one truly concerned is Si-hyun, who, having promised Jun-kyung to find So-ari, understands why he's so worried. They talk about their past, but Si-hyun still refuses to reveal why she suddenly broke things off with him. Meanwhile, Angela goes to a hotel to meet a client, and she is shocked when she sees who the person is. Yu-rang's curiosity gets the best of her, leading her to snoop through her husband's bag, where she finds an NDA related to that fateful night at Aragon Club. As night falls, the Balmain event begins, and the Gabon Society ladies are smug, believing they've rid themselves of So Ari, but their jaws drop when she arrives, dressed to kill, and looking like a 7-course meal. They seethe even more when they realize that her seat is seated at the front row. Chae-hee angrily asks why she is there, and So Ari replies that she has a seat in the front row, which shocks the Gabon Society even more. It turns out that So Ari was the one who acted like a client to see Angela. Desperate, Angela begs for mercy, promising to do anything, and So Ari takes advantage of the situation, demanding Angela's invitation to the Balmain event. Jun Kyung also attends the event, and he sits opposite So Ari. Watching from a distance, Jun Kyung is visibly relieved to see So Ari back in action, unable to take his eyes off her. Chae-hee, burning with jealousy, nearly crashes her car in a fit of rage. Meanwhile, So Ari seizes her moment, striking up a conversation with Choi Bom. Having studied the model's style beforehand, she strategically curates her outfit, making an impression that leads Choi Bom to rave about her on social media. As Choi Bom's post gains traction, Min Hai and the others realize So Ari isn't going down without a fight, and with the exposure boosting her comeback, So Ari partners with Gyeong Bae and launches her clothing line. Sales skyrocket, the money starts rolling in, and just like that, she's back in the game. Chae-hee vents to Si-hyun about how So Ari's success is affecting her, but Si-hyun, who is also stuck on how Jun Kyung was obviously staring at So Ari during the event, yells at Chae-hee to stop talking about So Ari. Now ready for bigger moves, So Ari reaches out to Jun Kyung's company for a collaboration. Believing in her vision, Jun Kyung agrees. But business isn't the only thing on his mind, and he asks for another chance to prove himself to her. So Ari, despite her initial reluctance, is already drawn to him. When Jun Kyung steals a kiss, her defenses crumble, and she kisses him back. Later, during a live stream, So Ari reflects on the choices that led her to this point, questioning where they might take her next. She also brings up Taejon's choices, just as we see a panicked Min-chan struggling to resuscitate the man from the club. Meanwhile, Taejon receives a call, realizing that everything is beginning to spiral out of control. On the 5th day of So Ari's livestream, she shares how exhausting the online world can be, especially with all the unnecessary fuss that comes with it. Through a flashback, we see her thriving, doing shows to promote her products and collaborating with Hue Cosmetics. Business is booming, and she can finally afford to rent a new home for her family. Her company is steadily rising in the fashion world, and she is deeply involved in every decision. Luxurious brands adore her, and she is at the peak of her game. While most people celebrate her success, Taejon believes she is overstepping, and Chae-hee, equally annoyed, is furious that So Ari gets first dibs on sponsorships before anyone else. With things going well, Sung-hyuk suggests changing her feed and handling demand differently. But So Ari refuses, insisting on keeping things the same, uninterested in making easy money by promoting products she doesn't believe in. Jong-soon tries to support Sung-hyuk's idea, but So Ari explains that her focus is on her company. However, one of So Ari's comments stings Jong-soon, hinting at a possible growing jealousy between the two best friends. Later that night, So Ari heads to another charity event, hosted by Si-hyun at the Aragon Club. On her way, she nearly hits a distracted young woman crossing the road, but fortunately, no one gets hurt, and she continues to the event as planned. As soon as she arrives, the media flocks to her, ignoring the other influencers, which infuriates Min Hai, who is in the middle of an interview. The event proceeds smoothly until So Ari overhears Chae-hee complaining about not being treated as VIPs. Deciding to confront them, So Ari questions why they suddenly care so much when they once reminded her that she wasn't on their level. Now that the tables have turned, she wonders why they can't handle it. Chae-hee, losing her temper again, lunges at So Ari, but ends up falling and embarrassing herself. Unfortunately, So Ari's dress gets ruined in the chaos, and Choi Bom, also present, steps in to help. Jong-soon worries because the dress was sponsored, but So Ari, unfazed, says she'll just buy it. A realization hits her, and she wonders if she is changing. Meanwhile, Jun Kyung arrives at the party and encounters Si-hyun. Wanting closure, he asks why she left him, not wanting to repeat the same mistake. As they talk, they hear a young woman crying nearby and rush to investigate, finding Yongtae and his men trying to drag her out. So Ari and Taejon, also present, witness the scene unfold, and it turns out the young woman is the sister of the man who died. She refuses to believe her brother committed suicide and demands answers. Acting on Taejon's orders, Yongtae forcibly removes her, while Si-hyun, horrified, realizes Taejon lied and covered up someone's death. Later that night, Jun-kyung drives So-ari home, but she hesitates to ask him the truth. Jun-kyung, sensing her fear, tells her she can ask anything, but instead, she asks him to pull over. Ignoring her request, he confesses that he needs her, subtly revealing his feelings and hoping that one day she'll feel the same. He reaches for her hands, and she doesn't pull away, though she won't admit it. It is obvious that So-ari is opening up to him. Looking back, So-ari recalls that sitting in Jun-kyung's car that night was the last moment of peace she had. That same night, Min-hae, still curious, continues investigating the events at Aragon after eavesdropping on the young woman's outburst at the party. A few nights later, So-ari receives a DM from BBB Famous, accusing her of ignoring her. So-ari explains that she tried reaching out multiple times, but BBB Famous never responded. Unmoved by her apology, BBB Famous demands that So-ari always respond to her messages immediately. Finding the request ridiculous, So-ari refuses, declaring it's time to uncover who BBB Famous really is and why she's so fixated on her. Elsewhere, Si-hyun meets with Jun-kyung, who confirms that Taejon lied as the man didn't survive. Though Jun-kyung offers to handle it, Si-hyun insists it's impossible. Frustrated, Jun-kyung recalls their past, revealing why things ended between them. Years ago, Si-hyun and Jun-kyung were secretly in love, but her parents pressured her into marrying someone else to support her father's political career. One night, Jun-kyung overheard Si-hyun pleading with her parents, yet he pretended to be fine, telling her he understood. Believing he never truly loved her, Si-hyun walked away. Now Jun-kyung apologizes, admitting he failed to communicate his true feelings but still insists on handling Taejon. Back in So-ari's world, she receives an offer to collaborate with a popular Chinese influencer, Zhang Wei. Yongbei persuades her that they can manage the demand, and she agrees to move forward. Meanwhile, BBB Famous reaches out to Chae-hee, attempting to form an alliance to bring So-ari down, promising to reveal how she rose to fame. At the same time, a post surfaces on social media, claiming someone died at Minchan's clinic after a wild night out with Chae-hee's group. Yurang, alarmed, brings it up to Minchan, who begins to panic. As expected, Taejon catches wind of the post and scrambles for damage control, getting all the posts removed. However, Jun-kyung, who also saw it, grows increasingly worried about So-ari, especially since she appears in the photo. Desperately, he tries calling her, but she doesn't pick up. Unbeknownst to him, So-ari is busy dealing with an unexpected late-night visit from a mysterious woman. Ari is confused at first, but it turns out to be Wang Ro-la, the same woman who had that epic feud with Binimom in the beginning. In her live stream, Ari reflects on how people online love watching others fall, narrating how rumors have led to the downfall of several influencers. Meanwhile, Chae-hee, overwhelmed by So-ari's ongoing livestream, drowns her stress in alcohol at the Aragon Club. Min-hee, on the other hand, faces the consequences of Ari exposing her, with her showroom shut down. She spirals, turning to pills, while YouTubers continue covering her downfall. Ma Young-ho tries to reassure Min-hae, but she's worried about how much more Ari might reveal. He reminds her that Taejon has helped before and will surely step in again, leaving us wondering, what exactly did Taejon do to protect Min-hae at So-ari's expense? Speaking of Taejon, he's furious that his team still hasn't found Ari, desperate to shut down her livestream. However, Jaehyun reminds him that things aren't like they were 3 months ago when they successfully took her down. What happened back then? Well, So-ari is about to get into it. Flashing back, we return to the night Wang Ro-la visited Ari. She wastes no time gossiping about Binimom and the Gabon Society, claiming she's here to support Ari. But when she starts quoting things that BBB Famous once said, Ari is taken aback, immediately asking if she's BBB Famous. Wang Ro-la, however, seems clueless. But if she's not BBB Famous, then how does she know about that private chat? On the other side of town, Jun-kyung confronts Taejon, urging him to come clean before more people get hurt. Taejon, of course, sees this as a threat, leading Jun-kyung to declare war on him. After Wang Rola leaves, Ari calls Jong-soon to dig deeper into her past with Binimom. Jong-soon explains that they were once friends until Binimom discovered Wang Rola was living a fake life, renting luxury goods with no real wealth. When Binimom exposed her online, Wang Rola retaliated by leaking their private chats, which exposed how they used to trash-talk other Gabin society members. In the end, both women lost everything. As Jong-soon shares this, Ari realizes she's been doing the same thing as she had used BB Famous's intel to blackmail Yuri and Angela. Meanwhile, Chae-hee, now working with BBB Famous, sees an opportunity to finally bring down So Ari. Si Hyun, unaware of this, advises Chae-hee to stay off social media until they handle the Aragon Club scandal. Min-hae later meets Yurang and is surprised that Min-chan's clinic hasn't faced any backlash. As it turns out, Taejon shut down the rumor, labeling it fake news, and is now hunting whoever started it. Realizing her plan backfired, Min-hae panics, immediately calling her husband to fix the mess. Meanwhile, Taejon orders Yong-tae to bribe the victim's sister and investigate whether Ari was the one who leaked the details. Unaware of the chaos online, Ari focuses on business, meeting Jiang Wei, a popular Chinese influencer, for their collaboration. When Jiang Wei asks if they can handle 1 million orders, Gyeongbei confidently assures her they can, sealing the deal, though Ari secretly worries if they can really meet the demand in time. During all this, Jun Kyung shows up, supporting Ari both professionally and romantically. At the office, Jung-soon overhears staff discussing the rumors surrounding Ari. Hyun-ok accuses her of being jealous, telling her to stop using Ari's name for clout. Offended, Jung-soon insists she's been working hard too. Later, So Ari wonders if she even deserves success, while Jun Kyung, noticing her unease, asks if she's worried about the scandal. He's surprised to learn she had no idea about the drama unfolding online. But Ari isn't the only one affected, as Si Hyun, fed up with everything, demands a divorce from Taejon, but he refuses, reminding her that he saved her father's political career and accusing her of wanting Jun Kyung instead. He also reveals that he's always known about her past. Si Hyun, however, makes it clear that she is leaving not because of Jun Kyung, but because Taejon's actions led to a man's death. Later, she meets Ari, pleading her to stay out of this mess. Si Hyun believes Taejon should take the fall, but Ari insists they were all involved. Si Hyun warns that going public now would only ruin her brand, leaving Ari torn about what to do. Back at the office, she catches Jung-soon hosting a sales event for products she had rejected. Feeling betrayed, Ari confronts her. Jung-soon, frustrated, argues that she deserves to benefit from her friend's fame. Angry and hurt, she storms out, asking Ari if she's really any different from the influencers she criticizes. The day of Ari and Jiang Wei's event arrives, but Jung-soon is nowhere to be seen. Just before the event, Detective Jang Hyun-soo visits Ari, asking about the rumors, but she refuses to say much, only promising to stop by the station later. Looking back, she regrets her decision that day. Despite the tension, the livestream event is a massive success, with the products selling out in just 5 minutes. The traffic even crashes the site temporarily, causing panic, but ultimately, they pull through. The team celebrates their win, and Hue Cosmetics even secures a deal with Jiang Wei's team. After the event, Ari turns off her phone and heads to the police station, where she meets Detective Jang Hyun-soo, ready to spill everything she knows about that fateful night at the Aragon Club. Detective Jang Hyun-soo listens intently as So Ari recounts the events of that night at the Aragon Club, questioning why she decided to come forward. But before we get an answer, we cut to her ongoing live stream. Ari continues to drop truth bombs, promising that this is just the beginning. Through a flashback, we revisit the days leading up to her downfall. Inside a luxurious spa, the ladies of the Gabin Society, except Si Hyun, gather to discuss the growing alliance between BB Famous and So Ari. Angela chimes in, recalling how Ari once threatened her, prompting Gina to ask if the rumors about her being a prostitute are true. Unfazed, Angela throws a jab back, questioning Gina about her counterfeit goods scandal. With tensions rising, they decide So Ari must be taken down, Chae-hee volunteering to lead the charge, though Min-hae reminds her that she's on a forced social media hiatus, so she'll handle it instead. Just then, a spa attendant enters, asking if they're ready, only to be rudely dismissed. Meanwhile, So Ari meets with Si Hyun and confesses that she's told the police the truth, though only about her own involvement. As soon as Ari leaves, Si-hyun makes a call, and it seems she's warning Jun-kyung that Ari is in danger. Unsurprisingly, Tae-jon is already aware that Ari has spoken to the police, immediately pulling strings to have the case buried, transferring Detective Jang Hyun-soo to another department. When the detective questions this abrupt decision, his superior shuts him down, forcing him to back off. At the same time, Tae-jon's team confirms that Min-hae was the one who originally posted about the Aragon incident, and seeing an opportunity, he decides to use her as a pawn to turn So-ae-ri into the scapegoat. Completely oblivious to Tae-jon's intentions, Min-hae is thrilled when BBB Famous reaches out, bonding over their shared hatred for So-ae-ri and plotting their next move. Meanwhile, So-ae-ri's team celebrates the success of their collaboration with Jang Wei. Hyun-ok notices Jong-sun sulking and offers an apology for her previous harsh words, but Jong-sun soon stumbles upon a hate account dedicated to exposing Ari's so-called true nature. Alarmed, Hyun-ok calls So-ari, who's at the factory, asking Young-bae to pause in-house production for now. Before she can explain, Jun-kyung arrives, and just as she's finishing a call with her mom, she realizes something is wrong. Her private chats with BBB Famous have been leaked, but they've been altered to paint her as a jealous, scheming villain intent on destroying her fellow influencers. Social media erupts, and the Gabon society revels in her downfall. Shocked, Ae-ri carefully examines the messages. Realizing much of it is fabricated, she becomes determined to get answers, and she asks Jun-kyung to drive her to Wang Rola's office. Face to face, Ae-ri demands to know if Rola is BBB Famous, but Rola scoffs, taunting her for not even knowing the true identity of her enemy. Smugly, she hints that it's someone close to her, though she's confident Ae-ri will never uncover the truth. Outside, Jun-kyung is already taking action, instructing his team to release a press statement and prepare for damage control. When Ae-ri emerges, he reassures her that their collaboration will continue and begs her to let him stand by her side, but Ae-ri refuses, insisting he should distance himself to protect his company. As the online storm rages on, Sung-hyuk struggles to reach Ari, while Do-seong works to trace the identities of her trolls. Meanwhile, Detective Jang Hyun-soo hears about the scandal from a colleague, who also warns him to stop going after Tae-jon. Elsewhere, Tae-jon pays Min-hae a visit, threatening her and Myung-ho with arrest for fraud and defamation. Terrified, they beg for mercy, and Tae-jon presents his terms. At the same time, So-ari is in the middle of her own livestream, finally addressing the rumors. She takes responsibility for working with BBB Famous to pressure other influencers, but insists the leaked chats are fake. She's just about to share the real conversations and expose the truth about the Aragon incident when Min-hae goes live, pinning the entire scandal on Ae-ri. As Tae-jon's terms were that Min-hae must go live and accuse So-ae-ri of forcing her to post the fake news about the Aragon Club. The betrayal is devastating as Min-hae's claims send shockwaves through social media, completely shifting public perception against So-ae-ri. Hyun-ok, overwhelmed by rage, faints on the spot. Si-hyun, stunned by the turn of events, immediately suspects her husband's involvement and confronts him at the office, and their argument escalates, with Si-hyun finally declaring she's done protecting his image. Furious, Tae-jon demands to know what she means. But before she can answer, Jun-kyung storms in, announcing that he's filing a lawsuit against Tae-jon on Ae-ri's behalf. Tae-jon scoffs, confident they have no case, but Jun-kyung reveals that he was there that night and will personally testify. As Jun-kyung and Si-hyun leave, she offers to join forces with him to help Ae-ri, while Jun-kyung orders his legal team to prepare, saying he is heading straight to the police station. Realizing the threat, the police commissioner immediately calls Tae-jon to warn him, and without hesitation, Tae-jon orders Yong-tae to eliminate Jun-kyung. Meanwhile, Young-bae calls So-ae-ri, informing her that customers are canceling orders and demanding refunds. She promises to visit the factory soon, but just as she's about to leave, her brother calls, revealing that some of her online attackers have been arrested. Rushing to the police station, she arrives only to be left speechless as Jung-soon is among those in custody. In her shock, Ae-ri drops her phone, missing the final message Jun-kyung sent, assuring her that everything will be okay. But nothing is okay as Jun-kyung never makes it to the police station. A truck rams into his car, leaving his fate uncertain. Back at her live stream, So-ari looks straight into the camera, asking her viewers if they enjoy watching her suffer. Ari is at the police station, struggling to process Jong-soon's betrayal, and Do-seong, just as stunned, lashes out at Jong-soon, vowing to make her pay, but So Ari stops him, saying it's pointless, then rushes out. Jong-sun chases after her, desperate to explain, but Ari demands to know how she could do this. Ari had believed she could handle the trolls since they were strangers, but realizing that one of them was her best friend, now that hurt. Jong-sun apologizes, admitting that jealousy and stress pushed her into trolling, explaining how at first she was happy for Ari's success, but as Ari's career skyrocketed, she started feeling small. The hate accounts gave her a sense of power, so she kept posting. But eventually, she stopped. After the Aragon incident, she even tried defending Ari, but it was too late. Back on Ari's livestream, she reflects on the pain of that day, as the scene shifts to paramedics rushing Jun-kyung to the hospital, with Si-hyun following anxiously. Meanwhile, So Ari receives a devastating call that someone has died. Overcome with grief, she drives her car straight into a body of water, seemingly choosing to end it all. But the question remains, who is dead? Back in the present, Ari's live stream spreads across mainstream media, sparking public curiosity and pressure on the police to investigate the crimes she exposed, and Detective Jang Hyun-soo is already on it, pushing his new boss to reopen the case. His boss hesitates, pointing out that So Ari was officially declared dead 3 months ago, and there's no evidence to act on. But Detective Jang insists that Taejon buried the truth, and he has proof. Meanwhile, Taejon, in full panic mode, orders his staff to shred all documents, then calls on Jae-hun, demanding an update on So Ari's whereabouts, but so far, they have nothing. And just as he's speaking, an employee informs him that a search warrant has been issued for their offices. Ari soon learns that Jun-kyung was in an accident and is unconscious. She pleads to see him, but Si-hyun holds her back as the nurse refuses. Si-hyun shows her Jun-kyung's final message. Reading it, Ari breaks down, overwhelmed. But the storm doesn't end there, as on that very same day, Gyeongbae took his own life. In a note, he blames himself for pushing the company too hard, calling his own greed the cause of its downfall. When news of Gyeongbae's death breaks, the internet erupts, placing the blame squarely on So Ari, who is already drowning in guilt and despair, and the growing outrage begins to push her toward the edge. Meanwhile, Min-hae, oblivious to the suffering she caused, continues promoting her brand online, enraging Si-hyun, who feels she got away with everything. Si-hyun tries to reach Ari but fails, then finds herself face-to-face with her husband. He attempts to pin Jun-kyung's accident on Ari, but Si-hyun stands her ground, telling him he's the real villain in all of this. She declares that she will testify against him, adding that she's filing for divorce. Taejon, unfazed, threatens to expose her father's crimes, assuming she'll back down. But this time, Si-hyun is done playing his game, and she is choosing herself. At the hospital, Ari finally gets to see Jun-kyung. Overwhelmed with regret, she realizes she should have confessed her feelings sooner, and though it's late, she finally admits that she likes him. Fortunately, Jun-kyung's surgery was successful, and he's expected to recover. Later, Si-hyun visits the hospital, only to learn from Jun-kyung's mother that Ari had just been there. Tracking her down, she finds Ari standing on the hospital roof, dangerously close to the edge. Si-hyun pleads with her to stay strong, reminding her that there are still people who need her. But Ari, drowning in guilt, believes she's responsible for all the pain around her. Si-hyun firmly tells her that she is only responsible for her own choices, not for others. Back on Ari's livestream, she reflects that no one can escape the consequences of their actions, no matter how much they try. The scene shifts to Taejon, who is now under police investigation. He fights to maintain his public image, claiming innocence, but the authorities are closing in, with Min-chan caught before he could flee the country. Yoo-rang, now seeing her husband's true nature, is left in shock. Meanwhile, Min-hae visits Hyeon-ok, who is now in prison for tax evasion, hoping to confirm whether Ari is truly dead, but Hyeon-ok yells at her for causing her daughter's death. As the investigation intensifies, both the police and Taejon's team simultaneously locate So Ari. Taejon orders his men to capture her, while the police race to intercept them. Jun-kyung, alive and well, is also en route, having placed a mole in Taejon's team who tipped him off. Soon, So Ari receives an alert that her location has been exposed, but she's prepared, and she quickly messages Si-hyun. Jun-kyung arrives first, breaking down the door while downstairs, the police arrest Taejon's men, led by Yong-tae. But when Jun-kyung finally bursts in, who he finds is not So Ari, but rather Jong-sun, who has been using AI technology to mimic Ari's voice and appearance. She ends the live stream with a promise that she won't let her viewers down and will keep them updated. In a flashback, we see the truth 3 months before she was declared dead, so Ari called Si Hyun for a final goodbye before driving into the water, and her last request is to become powerful and famous enough to make everyone pay. We see a woman walking into a salon, getting her hair done, and then heading to church, where we learn her name is Yoon Chae. As she joins her fellow congregants for lunch, they gossip about So Ari, filling Yoon Chae in since she has been out of the country and is clueless about the recent events. Later that night, she takes a cab home, boasting about her grand mansion to the driver, but instead of heading into a lavish house, she sneaks into a rundown home, scheduled for demolition, infested with cockroaches and strewn with dirt. The only valuable thing in sight is a laptop. As she opens her phone, a recorded conversation from lunch plays, and it turns out she is BBB famous, and she has been eavesdropping on the Gabin Society at the spa where she works, obsessed with their lives, celebrating Soari's supposed death. Meanwhile, reporters gather outside the police station, eager for confirmation on whether the woman arrested the night before is So Ari. Inside, Detective Jang Hyun-soo updates his boss, revealing that the woman in custody is Jong Soon, who had help from Do Seong. Their plan was to stir public attention toward Taejon's crimes. Do Seong, having turned himself in, admits that he sought revenge for his sister and is relieved that their plan worked. This was all part of So Ari's scheme to bring justice. However, when pressed about So Ari's whereabouts, both Do Seong and Jong Soon claim ignorance as her body was never found, and they can only hope she is safe, witnessing their efforts unfold. Min Hai and her husband attempt to flee the country after the arrests of Do Seong, Jong Soon, and Min Chan. But Yu Rang, feeling betrayed by Min Hai's shameless self-promotion of her husband's clinic, turns them in. Even in her downfall, Min Hai clings to her luxury bags, making Yu Rang realize they were never true friends. Meanwhile, Gina confesses to her followers that she sold counterfeit goods, issuing a public apology. Chae-hee is arrested for narcotics-related offenses, while Angela is abandoned by her husband after he discovers she has been selling her body. Meanwhile, as pressure mounts, Yoon Chae starts unraveling, losing her grip on reality. At the spa, she has been masquerading as someone from a wealthy family, claiming to work only for experience, but a skeptical coworker doubts her. Taejon, who is arrogant and convinced of his invincibility, believes he can still get away, even after Min Chan's confession. His legal team plans to argue that he merely transported a critical patient to the hospital, shifting all blame onto Min Chan. To ensure his protection, Taejon also attempts to silence An Jae-hun, but as public outrage intensifies, both he and BBB Famous face increasing scrutiny, prompting the police to bring him in for questioning. Despite his insistence on innocence, they initially lack solid charges, however. The tide turns when Young Tae, now in the prosecutor's hands, confesses to the attempted murder of Jun Kyung, and he is represented by An Jae-hun, who has switched sides. Young Tae admits guilt, pointing to Taejon as the true mastermind, but the final blow comes when Jun Kyung personally confronts Taejon at the police station, revealing that he found irrefutable evidence linking him to the accident. At first, Taejon denies it, but as reality sinks in, it becomes clear that his fate is sealed, and prison awaits. At the spa, a VIP client, supposedly a friend of Si Hyun's, arrives, specifically requesting Eun Chae's service. Yoon Chae feels suspicious and scared, but she cannot refuse. And as she starts attending to the client, it turns out to be So Ari herself. Stunned, Yoon Chae is at a loss for words as Ari demands answers, declaring that she will now suffer the same fate, which is becoming the public's newest target. Panicking, Yoon Chae bolts from the room, rushing to the employee locker area to gather her things. But she is cornered, and she makes a desperate move, smashing a window and attempting to escape. Before she jumps, she bitterly admits that she despised the influencers' reckless spending, their arrogance, and their endless bragging. She says it felt unfair that they had money to waste while she had nothing. Then, in a final act of despair, she leaps but survives. Si-hyun confirms that after her recovery, she will face justice for her crimes. Soon, Jun Kyung enters the room, and So Ari is shocked to see him. Si-hyun apologizes, saying she forgot to inform her that he is awake. Si-hyun leaves the room, and So Ari embraces him. As he asks her not to disappear again, it's clear that their bond remains strong. As the police investigate, they discover that Eun Chae has been undergoing therapy for depression. With justice served, So Ari's mother is released from prison, though she is frustrated that Do Seong and Jong Sun kept her daughter's survival a secret, reuniting with her family. Ari returns to their old home, ready to start anew, and Jong Sun, seemingly forgiven, finds her place back in their lives. So Ari goes to Eun-chai's home with Si Hyun. There she realizes that being BBB famous was the only thing that ever mattered to Eun-chai. Despite the public eagerly awaiting her return, So Ari has made up her mind that she is done with that world. She understands now how fickle public opinion is, how quickly adoration turns to hatred, and she has no interest in playing that game again. In the final scene, a cleaner arrives at Yoon-chae's abandoned house, tasked with tidying up. Amidst the filth, he stumbles upon a tablet, curiously scrolling through it, and what he finds is a fan account dedicated to none other than So-a-ri. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time.